Hi, this is Tutor P, and this is lesson 416. The title of today's lesson is The Difference Between Hawk and Peddle. Yeah, this is one like over the years, when you give the definition of both of them, the definition actually looks kind of similar, but there really are some differences between hawk and peddle. They have slightly different feels to them, but there are a lot of similarities too, so there could be some crossover. All right, at the top here, I'm going to show you some similarities first, or why it could be confusing to try to separate the two. Both can mean someone who goes from place to place to sell one's wares, and they don't usually have a set location. Although sometimes a street vendor does have a set location, especially if he's got a license for it and he's allowed to set up there, but a lot of street vendors don't have that. So both usually sell outdoors or possibly at special events. Both could go door to door, but is associated a little bit more with a peddler. Okay. Both could have a negative feel to them. A hawker, because he is annoying from being too loud. Yeah, well, I guess this all depends. If you like what he's selling, you won't be annoyed by it. But if you don't, it might just sound noisy. It might sound like noise pollution. It might bother you in that sense. That's probably the worst thing about a hawker. A peddler is sometimes associated with illegal or immoral things, such as drugs, pornography, etc. So now you could have a neutral meaning of peddler too. They could just sell some normal stuff. But this is one where hawker is usually not associated with drugs or pornography, but a peddler sometimes is. We do say a drug peddler, or somebody is peddling pornography, sexual material. Okay, let's continue. Ironically, the English word hawk derives from the German word hoker, meaning to peddle. So, in German, hawk actually did mean to peddle. In addition, as a verb, it can also mean to clear one's throat of phlegm. Yeah, we actually kind of say this in English too. Like if somebody trying to spit out some phlegm or something like that, and then they spit it. That's to hawk also. So you can see where a hawk is a little bit more verbal or oral. I don't know how you want to look at that. Yes. Let's continue. Which was connected to a bird's call. Okay. There are several dictionaries that also do state a hawker is a vendor who will call out. So this is a clear separation to sell his items. So as you're walking by, the vendor may say, "Hey, get it while it lasts. Look at these great buys here. Don't pass by. Come check it out. Maybe everything on this table, is just, $5 or something like that." Or sometimes he might even use we say a bullhorn if he calls out a lot. So we always associate that with hawker, and that is not necessarily with a peddler. And especially if it's a peddler who's peddling illegal stuff, he wants to be more quiet about it. If it was a drug peddler, he won't be screaming this out because, he'll get caught or something. Usually a drug peddler will just kind of say it under his breath as somebody's walking it by. They might say some word to have to do with like marijuana. They might say weed or dope or something as you're walking by if they think you could be a potential customer. So we might hear it that way. All right, let's continue. Peddle could also be associated with dishonesty and deception, even though again it does have a neutral meaning too, as in to peddle false information or fake news, or perhaps a snake oil salesman. We used to say that he peddled as well. That was hundreds of years ago. That was the guy that came with a bottle that who knows what was in that bottle, but he told people it cured 100 different things. And it really didn't do that. So he peddled a lot of what we call fake cures. He was trying to sell fake cures in that sense. So peddle sometimes is associated with this. Hawker, not necessarily. Again, they're mostly just loud, and they're trying to sell some whatever items it is that they have. All right, and we just have some examples to try to bring out these small differences. Here's the first one. That news network peddles a lot of falsehoods. We could say that. Maybe they actually report things, they pretend it's true, but it's not really true. Or here we can say number 2, some drug dealers will peddle their drugs nearby schools. So again, you could have some negative ones with peddle, okay? But again, you could peddle some normal stuff. And then the third one here, that street vendor will often use a bullhorn to hawk his wares or his items, whatever it is that he's selling. And number 4 here, we might say, that street vendor hawks trinkets in the night market. Yeah, so maybe as people walk by, he might say, everything on the table, a certain price, or, some really nice stuff, or whatever it is that he's yelling out. He's advertising his items. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it's clear. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.